Everybody, my name is Luis. Welcome back to another video on the channel. And I know it's been an extremely long time, but I'm back now. So without further ado, let's get right into it. One of those tech news videos, and in this one, since it's the end of the year, we're pretty much going to be discussing some of the best things that came out regarding smartphones, and then we're going to head over to the best movies and some other worldwide events. So first up, we have the best camera on a smartphone. So a YouTuber by the name Marcus Brownlee had a YouTube channel. Really got nice reviewer, does great stuff. Did a blind smartphone camera test. And what that pretty much is he takes a list of all the smartphones that are released this year, and he makes them in a bracket style. He takes identical pictures and posts on his Instagram story. Then the population gets to vote about which one is the best, and then he uses those results to find out which one is the best camera on a smartphone this year. So, starting us off, we have the Samsung S21 Ultra versus the Axon 30 Ultra. In this test, the Samsung S21 Ultra destroys the Axon 30 Ultra. Moving on, we have the Asus ROG 5 versus the Lenovo Legion Dual. In this test, the Asus ROG 5 wins. Next up, we have the Sony Xperia Pro I versus the Find X3 Pro. And in this one, the Sony Xperia Pro I wins. Moving along, we have the Mi 11 Ultra versus the Oppo 9 Pro. And in this test, the Oppo 9 Pro wins. Heading along, we have Pixel 6 Pro versus Pixel 5a, and surprisingly, the Pixel 5a actually beat the Pixel 6 Pro, which was its successor. Next up, we have the iPhone 13 Pro versus the Motorola Edge, and according to him himself, this is the first victory an iPhone has ever had in the 4 years of him doing this. So, iPhone 13 Pro gets a first round victory. Nice. Then we have the Zenfone 8 versus the Poco X3 Gt. And this one, the Zenfone 8 wins. And then we have the Surface Duo 2 versus the Realm GT, which had the most obvious outcome. It was the Realm GT. The Surface Duo 2 has the worst camera possible. And the Surface Duo, the original one, didn't even have a camera. So, it's still like no chance. So those are the first round results of what happened to the second round. So let me pull up those results. Alright, in the second round, it was the S21 Ultra versus the ROG 5. And to my sadness, the ROG 5 won, beating the S21 Ultra. So be it. Next up, we have the Sony Xperia Pro I versus the Oppo 9 Pro, in which the Oppo 9 Pro won and beat Sony Xperia Pro I. Then the Pixel 5a versus the Pixel 13 iPhone. The Pixel 5a versus the iPhone 13 Pro, and this one, the Pixel 5a dominated iPhone 13 Pro. Then the Zenfone 8 versus the Realm GT, and the Realm GT takes the dub, beating the Zenfone 8 in round 2. Now, moving along into round 3, we have the semifinals and finals. The race was against I can't speak. Asus ROG 5 versus Oppo 9 Pro, in which the Oppo 9 Pro wins. And then Pixel 5a versus Realm GT, in which the Pixel 5a wins. After that, we have the finals, in which the Pixel 5a kind of destroys the Oppo 9 Pro. We have the Smartphone Awards of 2021, also done by Marcus Brownlee on his YouTube channel. So, first up, we have the Best Big Smartphone Award. And this award goes to the Samsung Z Fold 3, since it is a folding phone, and it uses its larger display to the best of its advantage, and it has a lot of perks. Moving along, we have the best small smartphone. And this one goes to the Apple iPhone 13 mini. And it pretty much is everything the iPhone 13 is in just a smaller, more compact design. Moving along, we have the best camera phone. And surprisingly, this was not given to the Pixel 5a, which won the blind smartphone camera test. It's actually given to the iPhone 13 Pro. And the reason behind that is, it's just, I guess, not necessarily the best. There's a lot of more factors that go into these awards, and not just the basic fundamentals. And so the iPhone 13 Pro had a better layout, and it had a better software internally, which allowed it to provide better photos in more circumstances. It just lost in the circumstance that it was in the blind smartphone camera test, if that makes any sense. Moving along, we have the best battery, and that also goes to the iPhone 13 Pro Max this time, though. So it goes to another Apple phone, but it's the Pro Max. Moving along, we have the Design Award, which was given to the Galaxy S21 Ultra. Now, there were a few honorable mentions and runner-ups, but we're only discussing the awards and who came in first. So that was the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. 2 wins for that so far. Next up, we have the Value Award, and that was given to the Pixel 6 budget phone, great phone, and it actually made its bigger, I guess, brother, the Pixel 6 Pro, look like a horrible deal because it was way cheaper and it had almost the same specs as that Pixel 6 Pro. Now, the bust of the year, the Surface Duo 2. So, if any of you guys remember the Surface Duo, it didn't even have a camera. It was very glitchy and it was really bad. So Microsoft tried to fix it this time, and they fixed some of the problems, but they created a whole bunch of more problems. Such as, this time the hinge doesn't do a full 180 close, and it's not flush due to the camera, which is absolutely trash, and it's still very glitchy and not consumer friendly. So it was the bust of the year. Next, we have the Most Improved Smartphone Award, and that goes again to the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. The Galaxy S20 Ultra had a lot of potential, but it wasn't being used properly. It was the first use of 100x camera, but the design wasn't good, it didn't look that good, and overall, the phone wasn't being A, used to its potential, and B, it just didn't look that good, and really wasn't an overall good phone. But this time, the S21 Ultra really stepped up its game. Now, we have the phone of the year, the MVP. So, obviously, it's not like this clear out the best phone. There's a lot more that goes into it. So, the way he described it was like an MVP of sport or something. It's going to contribute to the entire other, team, the obstacles it overcame, and pretty much how it overall became from last year to this year, what it does, and a lot of factors that go into it. And so this phone of the year is the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. Those are the smartphone awards of 2021. Let's move on to a software flaw. So in the code log4j, which is used widely across many companies, there's been a major security flaw. And this is allowing hackers to exploit it and pretty much take control over servers. Huge companies such as Apple, Amazon, Tesla, etc. can be affected by this because this type of code is used almost everywhere, and it's pretty much computer errors that might pop up, and it controls those. So any computer error that you might see pop up, it's the log4j code. And this security flaw has allowed hackers to take over servers, which is a huge privacy issue, and it is pretty much not safe for them. And it happened during the worst time possible due to the holidays. So many of the people, the IT people working, are actually on break, and it's hard for log4j to get back, but they're working vigorously to get their patches out and fix this security flaw. It has already impacted major companies such as Microsoft, and it impacted Minecraft, which is owned by Microsoft, which caused Microsoft to release a patch for Minecraft, now allowing players to freely play and enjoy the game for what it is. Next, news. Speaking of Minecraft 1.18 Caves and Cliffs Update Part 2 released last month on November 30th, exactly a month ago, and it pretty much added new biomes, it changed the level of bedrock, and it had a new height limit. So the previous height limit was like 240, 230, something like that. Now they've increased it so mountains can spawn bigger, better mountains can spawn, and it is now 320 blocks. They've also added deep slate ores, which can be found under 0. So therefore, they had to also change the level of bedrock to -64. So now if you dig down, you can go all the way to -64 before you actually hit bedrock. Before it was like 0. That's dope. And now as far as the new updates, new caves and biomes go, they added lush caves, which pretty much are more dangerous caves, and they're sort of plant-like. They have plants in them. They also have new plants in them. All the new plants that they added, which was added in Part 1, are now integrated in this cave, which was added in Part 2. They added dripstone caves, which again, all the things in the dripstone cave had already been added in Part 1, and now they added it in a cave, if that makes any sense. And they also tweaked up a lot of things, and honestly, you should just try to play it. I played 1.18, Part 2. I died like 20 times before I could get my first iron ore. It's either was my spawn just like that, or they really made the game a lot more exciting and fun to play. So yeah, that's it for tech news, and hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in another episode. Peace.